Okay, so we now got a pretty basic looking thing done, so that's looking pretty good. Although it feels a little bit high, but that's something that is mostly just angles. So what I'm going to do is I just want to go ahead and see if we can like also create like this little bit next to that just to see how everything works. So let's say that this is a real case scenario, which it will become later on. We would most likely like duplicate this, and then it would just be like we would probably like grab this wall over here. Here, see, and that's where we get into trouble, as you can see, because we do not have like a short piece of like our wall. So that's why I'm testing. Basically what I'm talking about is if we would grab this piece over here, what we would need to do for this one is, it looks like it is a little bit further back. So we would go in and we would like push this further back in. Now I can see that there are now a few problems that we would get. So we can go ahead and do this. We first of all need to probably like move this piece also back so that we have like a little bit of, that we can like play around with things a little bit more. Now next thing is that this one would go halfway there. So we would need to, in any case, have some kind of like a system where, let's say that we push this one up here. And then once we've done that, we can see like, oh wait, we need to push this forward because else it will be looking strange in the roof. And then I guess that we can go ahead and we can move this down here. So that would work. And then if we grab this piece, so maybe we don't have a problem now that I look at it. Yeah, maybe we can actually make this work. So we like say, okay, so I want to grab this piece over here. And this is going to be like the little roof piece. And that kind of like just sits in there. And then over here, what it would do is it will most likely just turn back into a normal wall. So yeah, actually, you know what? This works pretty well. I did not expect it to work this well. It's just like the pushing in and out. We need to be very careful about this, that we do not accidentally, or that I do not accidentally mess things up. Of course, I'm not saying that you will mess it up, but I'm quite prone to messing things up quite quickly. So like I turn this into like a, oh no, you know what? Let's keep this like a short one. So this is going to be like a little short piece, and because we can later on just use these pieces also. So this would then become like a short piece, and then down here, yeah, it's more like a matter of if you want, you can rotate this 180, move this back, and then move it in here, and then have it like just sitting like in front of that. So that can work like that. Do we need tops for these pieces? I wonder if we need to like have like a specific flat roof in here, or if we will never ever see that anyway. I don't think we will ever see that unless we do like a flyover piece like this, which I guess if we go high, we can make that, but let's just make that in like default. So we can just use like a default shape like a cube in order to do that. In any case, so let's say that we now have this piece, and then over here we like select, let me just select these pieces. Okay, so we like place some of these pieces over here. We would grab like one of these shapes, and this would become like the back. And then later on, what we will do is we will populate this with like small little windows, maybe like a back door or something interesting like that. And then everything kind of like fits all together. So we have something like that, and that would work quite well. Okay, so that works quite well. So for this piece, in order to basically push it back, I think this is always clipping inside of a building. Because it is clipping inside of building, we do not have to do this, but we can just go in. And if we grab our walkway straight, we simply also just want to move this a little bit more. Here, if we just, If we just go ahead and Alt-X, select this, turn on my snapping to increments. I'm gonna go maybe like 2 back, like this. So that it will basically be clipping into a wall. And because it will be clipping into the wall, we just won't be able to see it anymore, which should hopefully give us a nice look. So walkway straight. So if I now go ahead and I can go in here, walkway straight and re-import. There we go. So we basically get like an effect like that, which should work pretty well. And then what will happen is there will be like a like a door. So this is another one that we can make. So we have a door with a window, but I also wanted to make like a door without a window. This door feels actually... Oh, no, wait. That feels correct. It just... In this specific context, it doesn't feel very nice, but that's something we can also work on. So let's say that we have our... Where are you, door? Door A. Let's duplicate that. Let's add a new collection and add this to here. And call this door underscore B. And door B will just not have a window. So door B will basically just become... let's go edit mode. Alt X. Let's delete this stuff. Oh, turn off door A. There we go. Actually, you know what? I'm going to also delete this stuff over here. And I'm just going to go ahead and just going to... Oh, turn off snapping. Yeah, let's do something like that. And then what we can do is we can always go ahead and we can select these pieces. Q, bridge edge loops. There we go. Easy does it. So export FBX. Door underscore B. Let's export that one. And then we can go ahead and just in here we can import door B. So that one is now also sorted out. And what we can do is we can replace our door A with our door B. And then this one would, for example, become like a door here. And then it has like a smaller... Yeah, let's do like a smaller window for this one. So we got like a large windows. For Blockout, we can pretty much just repurpose this. So we have our store window over here. Let's duplicate this and let's start actually with a new collection. Artist Studios. Call this store window wide, because I was going to make one of those. And then if I just go ahead and Alt X and select this, increments 1, 2, there we go. So we have like a store window wide that we can use. So that's already one. FBX store window wide over here. And then what we're going to do is we are going to go back into our store window again. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. And this one we can add a new collection and call this one small window. And if we ever want to, we can also do like a... Actually, let's do small window A. So that if we ever want to, we can also have multiple variations of this. Now for our small window, what I'm going to do is it's going to mostly be used for like stuff like this. So... For now, I'm just going to leave the same profile, but of course I will not use this profile. So let's just move the top down. Let's move the side in a little bit. There we go. Something like that. So just going to be like a smaller window. So file, export FBX, and this one is going to be small window underscore A. And we can just go ahead and go in here, store window wide. And small window A, let's drag those in here. Import all, there we go. So that's pretty good. So now over here we can do like a, you know what, let's do like a store window wide for this one. So we have like a store window wide, which I need to make a lot lower in terms of over here. Oh yeah, because we don't have a window, that's why it's like that. So yeah, we need to go ahead and store window wide. We need to go in here. Actually, no, always do it from the top, because else it becomes a bit more annoying. Here we go, let's make that a bit lower. And I'm just still using increments. I like to use increments wherever I can. Just because I know that those are even. So just in case, it's just like a good practice to try and keep everything a little bit even. Let's move this up. Probably up until this point. There we go. So we have like a store window wide and it has like a little piece over there. And then what we can maybe do is, maybe what would also be cool is we duplicate this. And then we grab our small window A. And just have like a Here, let's see. If we do this, a small window A, I'm going to make them a bit wider, but then a bit smaller. I think that looks a bit nicer. So let's go in here. Let's not do increments this time. Let's make them a little bit wider. And then a little bit smaller. Maybe it's a bit too much. Yeah, let's try something like that. So export. Small window A. Here we go. So that already looks quite nice. So we got now 2 pieces over here. So that's pretty good. Okay. So the next one that we're going to do, and what also would be cool is if we sometimes do like a little step. We can pretty much do that because we are going to now, because of the new techniques that we're going to use, where we are going to cut out our doors, we can later on also just like always just whenever we want add a little step and just make stuff a bit larger. Okay, now the next one would be this, that we are going to create a longer building. And this longer building, it will not so much be longer, but it will be higher located. And then we're going to start working on like our balconies and everything. So if we go in here, oh yeah, we need to also create another rooftop trim for that. Door /B, wide /B, small window /B. So we are slowly getting there. Walkway straight /B. There we go. Okay, so for this one, is it the same width? Yeah, this one feels wider. So this one is like a wider one. For this one, I just want to see if how much variation there is. So long, thin, long. So there's a little bit of variation in between the pieces. I do want to see if I can get like that same variation sort of in here. Just because it will look nice if we just add that extra variation. So let's see. So now we have this piece. Can we maybe like cut it in half? That we have like an even shorter piece. That might work, we just need to be careful. It might work, but we will need to be careful. So if we go plain wall short, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. Expect a number. There we go. That works. New collection. Plain wall extra short. And let's add this one in here. Let's turn off the original one. Okay, so plain wall extra short is basically going to have a Ctrl+R. Click like this. And then if we just simply delete this face. There we go. So this is going to be plain wall extra short. FBX. Plain wall extra short. I could have done the naming a little bit better, but that's not too big of a deal. Let's import this. Okay, like this. So we have that one imported. And yeah, so this is basically just going to be a process. It might take a while. So it might take us a couple hours. Probably if we also want to place everything together and place everything into place. But in the end, at least we have we already have our town. So all we need to do is turn it into finals, texture it, and then we instantly already have it. So it is actually really important. So we got these pieces. I'm going to make this piece a bit longer. And then I wonder how that will work with like over here with these. So if we go ahead and turn on our snapping. So let's say that this piece will become a bit higher like that. Over here. So this one is still sitting next to it. So if we go in here, we grab these pieces over here. If we then grab these pieces and move them back, but turn them into plain wall extra short. Here we go. See, so that's how we can add an extra piece. The only thing that I need to be careful about is for the balcony pieces, I probably need to make them as short as this. So you kind of want to make them as short as the shortest piece that you will most likely use. So we got this piece over here. It looks like it's going backwards a little bit more again. So this is an interesting one. This is one where we kind of like need to decide how far back do we actually want to have all of these pieces. So first of all, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to move this up. And I can basically move this up as long as it doesn't get higher than this piece over here. It should be fine. Although that might actually cause problems in the end. So maybe just move it down here. So that is not high enough. If it is not high enough, then I rather just want to go in here. Let's see, I move this back. I make this. Oh no, you know what? Because we're going to have a double window. So maybe we do this. We then grab this one, but now you can see what will happen is that if we grab this piece and we turn this one into our double-sided short over here, as you can see, it means that we are missing a wall over here. And that is always a bit annoying. Plus, is it too high? No, you know what? No, the height is fine. Okay, so the double-sided window in this, or double-sided wall in this case, does not technically work. However, what we can try to do is we can try to then, for this specific piece, duplicate this over so that this at least fits together nicely. And then for this double-sided window, which by the way, oh no, it only feels like there's a loop. We can later on grab this piece and we can literally rotate it, move it like this, and then place it into location. And I kind of want to try this anyway, because I want to see if this works fairly well. We might actually be able to also save a little bit of time by just not making this wall over here and just turning it into like another plain wall. So over here that does work. I just hope that it will also work when we actually have geometry on here, because this will not be a flat wall when we actually work on it. So let's say that we got something like this going on over here. Now in the back we will have our wall over here, or our wall, our roof over here, I should say, our roof. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this down here, and I'm just going to basically, let's see, I'm going to move this up, and I want to basically scale this out like this until it hits the back, and then move this down. And that should work. So even though we have the scaling, it should still give me decent snapping. It does not give me decent snapping because I did not do the scaling exact. So let's do a scaling of 1.5 exactly. Oh, if you know that, if you just press this little lock and then do 1.5, you get an exact scaling on every single axis. Here we go, and that should hopefully matter and give us better snapping. See, so now it snaps. So Unreal just likes even numbers when we work with snapping and everything. So we got this piece. Now if we go ahead and now duplicate, for example, this side over here, we can move it down here, and then we can turn this into our plain wall long, like that. And then we have this one, and then over here we can pretty much do the same. And I know that you can technically just add like two, like on your plain wall, you can technically just add a wall on every side, and then just yeah, so you can add a wall on every single side, so on this side and on this side, so that you do not need to rotate it, but it will add extra expense that will be not really useless or useful. Now having that done, I'm going to turn off my grid snapping, move this one down so that it actually fits with the wall. And see, there we go. So okay, so that looks pretty good. So let's get started with, well, first of all, these pieces we need to probably like cut one in half so that we have like an extra piece. But let's get started with like the top trim. So for the top trim, we're gonna go for like a little bit more of like an ornate one. So let's do that one, and then we can close off this chapter. So if we go ahead and use our, where are you, by the way? Was this one? Oh yeah, okay, so this one was like a nice length. So let's try and get roughly the same length. So if we go in here, we want to turn on our, just like a generic beam over here. And shop trim A, okay, so we got that one. Now for this one, I actually want to go use a slightly different technique, which it will still be a blockout. So basically if we go in here, so if this is the beam, then I can actually turn off the beam and can use this one. If we press next to the little button and go to like our, I'm clicking too fast, I always do that. Go over here to this view. What we can do is we can actually create a plane. Shift A, mesh plane. I know that Blender has a spline system, but I also know that it is not useful for me because it's just not good enough for what I'm used to, at least. So I have my plane over here. I'm going to snap using increments like this. And then what I want to do is, if I just go ahead and get started with going into vertex mode, move this down. Oh, make sure to press Alt X so that you select everything, move this down. And now what you can do is, if you move this down also, and I'm just having a quick look at my reference and maybe like move it out a little bit. We can now go ahead and we can go into edge mode. And if we just quickly rotate around, let's grab this edge over here and just hold E. Okay, maybe it's easier if we do this into our front view. So basically we hold E and then we move this one down. But I'm more focused on this edge over here. Yeah, so I'm just making sure that I have it selected. So let's move this down over here. No, let's move one back. And now I'm just going to basically guess what it's going to look like, because I don't have enough resolution to actually know. But I'm just going to make a rough guess, and then when we are actually... Sorry, I keep doing that. When we are actually going to create a final, then we can just go ahead and mess around with it. The nice thing about this is that I can just press E, and because it is snapping to the grid, I can simply go ahead and I can like snap this and until I hit this high point over here. So what I can do is I can, for example, snap this over here, do something like this, this, here, let's do something like over here. Actually, let's also now select both of these and just move them out a little bit more. And then what I can do is I can grab this one and I can do one extra E and just move it down. See, and then I can just very quickly create a very basic looking profile like that. At this point, you can go ahead and for like these two pieces, you can just press Q, merge at center, which I added, but you can also go to mesh, merge at center, and you can right click and of course add this one to your quick favorites. See, and that one goes quite quickly. At this point, we can turn off our increment snapping. We basically move this over here, and now for our thickness, we simply add once again our mirror modifier. We mirror it on the Z-axis and also do like a bisect. And this time you can see that my pivot point is not in the right location. So I can go to my Maxifish tools, press edit pivot, move it out a bit. And often it is quite sensitive, so you need to like not move it out too far. Like this. And that's looking pretty good. So at this point we can just press Ctrl A on our modifier to apply it. With this done, what you can do is you can go ahead and if we just turn off our shop trim, we can go select these two pieces and just do like a delete and delete the edge loops this time. And now if we go to vertex mode, select this side, shop trim A, I want to go ahead and I want to move this up here. Let's see, is this one already at 0, 0, 0? I just want to make extra sure by turning on my increments. There we go. See, it was not at 0, 0, 0. So we got this one. Let's turn off shop trim A. And what I'm going to do is, it looks like that only at the very last bit, it is actually pushing out. So it looks like it kind of just looks, well, actually, you know what? Maybe we can do it like one further. Let's do this. No, I don't like that actually. Let's just do something like this. I'm sure that they would not spend too much time on the woodwork because you're in the Wild West. There's a lot of dust and everything. You're not going to make very amazing ornate looking designs or something like that. So then we go ahead and we just Alt-Shift click, and you can see it down here of course. Hold Ctrl and then deselect these two edges. And now you can Q and you can bridge the edge loops. There we go. That should do the trick. Maybe for good measure, we want to do the same over here. So we also want to do a bridge edge loop just in case in here. And we can go ahead and we can add a new collection. And we will call this one Shop Top Trim B. And then what we can do is we can file, export, FBX, and this one is going to be shop top trim B, export. Let's go in here and let's just import it. And the nice thing is, because it's all the same metrics compared to the other shop top over here, we can go ahead and we can use this one. Now, as we know, this one is a little bit longer, so that's going to be a bit interesting to see how it will behave, and if we can maybe like use some small scaling, or if there's anything else very specific that we need to do. However, that is not really something for the blockout, because that's more for our modeling tools. So if we go ahead and we grab this piece over here, we can now just swap these around for trim number B. As you can see over here, I feel like trim number B, it does actually need to come in a little bit, so it does not need to push out as much. So if we go in here and let's see, let's move this out. Yeah, okay, so we would need to have like an extra piece in here. We can try and duplicate it and see if it, for example, does not show the clipping as bad. That can sometimes work. However, I'm not sure of it yet. That's something that we can figure out a little bit later. For now, over here, if we just go ahead and go to vertex mode, just select this and just scale it in a little bit more. And maybe like move it in a little bit. There we go, so that it's not as wide or not as extended. So let's re-import this. There we go, so that's not as extended. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to just use this one version over here. And let's see. I think we want to scale it maximum 1.25. If you scale it above that point, you will see texture stretching later on. So that's why I'm not just scaling it very far out. So what I can do now is I can grab this piece, rotate it 180, and actually let's properly move this in here. Don't know where my pivot point is located. My pivot point is not located in the right location. Oh yeah, here, see, it's not. So what I need to do, first of all, is add a pivot. I need to snap this pivot to one of the vertices. And then I need to set all of this to 0, 0, 0. This is why setting your pivot point in the right location is so important. So we can re-import this one over here. And now that we've done that, my pivot point will be in the right location for me to then use press V and to then snap it together. Oh wait, this is because we did not do an even scaling, but that's no problem. This is just a blockout. I do not care about that specific thing. So we got this version. So yeah, as you can see, we are missing a small version over here. So that is a tricky one. We might just want to go ahead and make like a centerpiece that is just like a small extra piece. For now, what we can do, so we can work with that later on, because I have a few ideas that we can use. For now, I do this, I scale this in, but I do this while knowing that I will replace this. Because, yeah, for now, it just needs to look a little bit decent. So we got this stuff. Let's save our scene, and in next chapter, let's go ahead and start working mostly on like our balcony. We can already add some windows and everything and just make this look like a house. So let's continue with that.